Hello, hello. Today I'm going to paint something here. I painted this little watercolor sort of watery sketch a little while ago, and I thought I'm going to do it again. And just as a practice, one of the things about creating is sometimes you just have to kind of mess around and do things to practice and to sort of keep your skills up, or just keep your interest up. Now I've got my palette over here and I can't put everything in my screen here because I want to see this. So I'll be mixing colors over here, and yeah, I can't really think of any other way to do it. I'll just move this over. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Yeah, I guess that'll help. Okay, so I'm kind of on the left side of the screen here, but I'm going to just choose colors at random, and I'm actually using this as my guide. So I'm just I'm not trying to create an exact replica. I'm just practicing some of the skills, and you can see as I go along, it's not going to be the same. So let's just see how it goes. And I'm picking colors kind of at random. I guess that's good enough color. Just sort of really abstract kind of roses here. Before I started though, I should mention that I put a pale wash of pink on the paper, just because I kind of wanted to. Now I also put in some of these magenta colors, and I honestly don't remember what paints I used, what colors I used, so if they don't turn out the same, it's because I just don't remember. And I don't even know what some of them are supposed to be honest. Like this. It's very, very abstract. And that's one of the fun things about it, if you want to know the truth, because you can call it anything if it's abstract. Now let's get a little bit more pink in some of these so that they're sort of a mix of colors. Because why not? And then I'm going to go straight to perhaps this Prussian blue. And I'll just show you what kind of color that is. It's very blue. I think I'll go back over here to a phthalo green, which is a very blue green, and just make some leafy looking shapes. Doesn't really matter what they actually are supposed to be or look like. I just want to add some color in here. And one of the things that I'm kind of working towards with my art is trying to be less detailed, just to get more of an impressionist look. And so when I just do kind of random things, that's the sort of impetus behind it. Now I could use a bigger brush than this if I wanted to. Do I have one? I kind of do, but I think I'll just stay with this one for now. And to be honest, I'll probably go off script here pretty soon because I keep changing my mind. Let me use a little bit different color in here. Get a bit more red and pink all around here because I can, and because I want to have a really colorful design. And why don't I put a little bit more up in here? And also get a little bit of orange down in here so that this is not the only orange thing in the whole picture. So you might say, well, what are you going to do with something like this? And part of the reason we do it, the same reason we do glue books, is just number one, because it's fun, and also to learn something new, and why not? So it's not heavily serious by any stretch of the imagination. The more color I put in, the more I have to be careful that it doesn't run into the other colors. Look at this beautiful green. It's Hooker's green, which is a nice dark, sort of a forest green. Now, speaking of running into other colors, I think this is good. So I've been working with a very lovely coach for my art business because, as you know, I haven't turned a corner. I've just sort of taken a fork in the road in the creative things that I've been doing, and kind of felt like my feet weren't firmly on the ground. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to work with somebody. One of the things that I've done throughout my art career is pretty much done it all on my own. I've had very little support from anybody. I'm not a very groupie person anyway. So I'm not always anxious to be part of classes and things like that. I have done classes, and I've done online classes I actually really like because I can just work at home on my own, you know. But I just kind of went, you know what, I want to feel a little bit directed. And it's been lovely because that's exactly what I feel. Now I'm going to just kind of fill in things here. I'm hardly looking at this anymore because I like the way this side is going. Somehow that got a lot bigger than I intended. So I'm just going to kind of tone it down a little bit, maybe. Or not really that, just to add a little to it. Just so it looks more obviously like a flower, not just like a wet blob. Anyway, that's probably enough about that topic. Summer is finally arriving here, if you can believe it. It's July. However, it's actually kind of not unusual that it takes this long. Sometimes it's hot in April and it just stays nice till October. Sometimes not. I think I want a little bit of this blue in here. It's just so dynamic that it pops everything up. Anyway, we've had a lot of rain and not a lot of sunshine. In fact, it was supposed to be really sunny today, and half the day it's been sort of chilly and just not getting there. Okay, I'm going to go back around. I'm going to turn my, no, I'm not going to turn my fan on because last time I did that, it just made a noise in the background and I couldn't edit the thing out, so. I just noticed this sort of purple around the edge here. I'm just about running out of this paint. Let's throw some of that in there. One way to loosen up your painting is to hold your brush farther back on the handle, because it's hard to be really precise when you're like, if you want to, you know, you can't do this and be loose. You have to, the farther back you hold it, the better. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, what's new in my life? Let's go there. Okay, I went away on a little bit of a holiday with my husband a couple of weeks back. we just went to Vancouver Island, and I said, we should go away before the kids are out of school because it's so much easier to get accommodations and whatnot. So we booked a hotel that we'd stayed at before and we really liked. And it has lovely balconies. So I thought that all the rooms had balconies, but apparently not, because when we went to check in, she said, the young lady at the front desk said, "Oh, you're up on the 4th floor. We've given you an upgrade." I'm like, "Oh, okay, why?" I don't know. She didn't say. And so we went up to the room, and it faced the backyard, which is a little lawn, and then a mountain like this, a cliff. Had little windows in the corner. And I said, "I can't stay in this room. It is too dark." And my husband's like, "It's nice." But he said, "I'd rather have a balcony too." I said, "Well, I'll go back down." And I used to work at a hotel. I was a sales manager years ago at a hotel, and I kind of know how they work and what they can do for you. And so I went back down to the front desk and I said, "We're not actually really happy with that room. We'd love to have a balcony." So she dutifully looks on a computer and says, "Everything's already booked." And I'm thinking, so switch them. Give somebody else this upgrade. And I said, well, I just reiterated. And sometimes that's all you have to do, is just sort of stand your ground and not make a fuss, and just say, "Okay, this is what I want." And so that's what I did. I just said, "Well, we would really like to have this, a room with a balcony." And then didn't say anything. So she's looking at her computer and humming and hawing. And she was new at the job, I think, so she kind of didn't know what to do. Anyway, she said, "Well, let me ask my manager." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." So off she goes into the back room. She said, comes out again. She said, "Can I just see what we can do, and I'll call you in the room?" I'm like, "Okay, fine. This needs to be a little bit dried before I can add too much more to it, because I want to add a little bit of these little tendril kind of things." Anyway, she said she'd call us. I'm like, "Okay, fine. That's lovely. Thank you very much." So I went back to the room, and we didn't touch anything. The only thing we did was open the curtains and go, "Uh-oh, we have a problem here." And anyway, a little while later, she phoned and she said, we found a different room for you, and if you'd like to just come back to the front desk, we'll give you the keys and everything will be fine." So there you go. It gives you a little idea of what you can get if you just ask. For example, the Bible says you have not because you ask not. And I often remember that verse. I mean, it goes on for reasons and whatnot, but I often remember that verse because sometimes, someone will say, "Well, we can't ask for that." I'm like, "Well, why not? We won't get it if we don't ask." So I have no qualms about doing that. I'm actually fairly nervy, so it just goes to show you, So we moved into our new accommodations and had our west-facing room with the balcony, so we could sit and watch the sunset, and it was lovely. Now, what do you think? I think I'll throw a little more color on here. This is going to be quite a quick video, but I have something I want to show you in a few minutes here. Just put a little more color on this one, different color actually. And maybe a little bit of this cadmium red in this. Is the cadmium red's an orangey red, If you haven't started with watercolors, what is holding you back? Because it's inexpensive to start and it's easy. So as you can tell, just like plopping some paint here and there is so no big deal. And it's amazing how beautiful they look. I mean, I just think watercolors are beautiful. And I see other people's work and I'm like, wow, I love that, you know. I think I want a little bit of green in here, a little bit of green in here. So it's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And I feel like it's been a success. What I like is like massive color. I'm going to just do what I did in here, and that's fill in some of these little spaces with this purple so it looks more, so there's less white showing or the pale pink in the background. Just add a little bit of this here and there. It's still a little bit wet. Ordinarily I would let it dry first, but I don't want to keep you here all day while I'm just waiting for the paint to dry, because you know what they say about watching paint dry. It's not generally the most exciting thing to do. I think this needs a little bit of shape or something here too. Anyway, I love how this color has kind of bloomed together. That's really pretty. So I want to do something else. Like, you notice all these little dots that's splashing. I want to put that on there. But first, I want to show you something, and also tell you one of the reasons why I'm doing these kind of exercises is they're kind of sketches for my acrylic work. And I'm just going to move my waters, and then I can show you my new painting, which I'm almost finished. Just needs a couple of little touches. So I'm just going to not touch this because it's still wet. But here's my newest painting. Which I'm really happy with. I love the colors. You can tell my palette is really similar. I actually had some yellow in here and it just didn't work for me, so I took it out and put pink in because can always count on pink. And at the moment I'm adding little dots to the edge because I think it's just such a fun thing to do. I have one more side to do. You can't obviously do them all at once because you got to stand it on one edge. Anyway, I thought you might enjoy seeing that. I'm in the process of setting up my new store on my site, so it will be in there soon. But in the meantime, if you are interested in it, it is for sale. And all you have to do is just make a comment below and say, I love your painting, I want to buy it, or you're interested in it. And I will send you a message and or tell you how you can get a hold of me, and then let you know what the price and how it works and all that kind of thing. So that's the exercise of the day. I want to just move this over a little bit again, and you can see that these are different but similar and both beautiful. Please take a moment to subscribe to my channel, click the little bell, be sure to have a look at what's below. How do you do below? Below. Where it says show more, because there's lots in there. And I'll see you next time.